Hello, everyone. We are here live from the Deep Dish Swift conference in Chicago, Illinois. I've got special guests here, Adam Wulf and Dave Nutter. Say hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Excited to be here.
And so we're going to give just a little bit of a mid-conference update on exactly what we've seen here, what we're doing here, and the kinds of things that we've seen and enjoyed. So let's start with Adam. What is your favorite thing at the conference been so far? Whether that's a talk, a post event, anything like that. What have you seen so far?
Okay, so I have two things. The first is bottomless coffee. I was so excited when I finally got here and I could just refill my coffee forever, because the day of my travel I was underdosed for sure on my caffeine. As far as talks, I've really enjoyed Jordan Morgan's talk. We'll get into that later, but he did one on marketing that I thought was great. But honestly, there have been so many good talks. Antoine Vanderlee's talk was great. Danielle Lewis had an amazing talk. Alison McIntyre had a great talk. Adam Shaw, there's been a lot. So Stuart Lynch, there's been, so many. So I'm just happy to be here because I came to learn. If you name enough,
you're going to sound bad for the people you didn't name.
I know, yeah.
Everybody except.
Yeah. So I should say, Michael Flareup, Adam Shaw, Stuart Lynch, Jacob Kijich. I'm sorry, Jacob. Alison McIntyre, Antoine Vanderlee, Adrian Eves, Seaman Narush, Danielle Lewis, Jordan Morgan, Vidit Bhargava, Hide Vanderplog, and Charlie Chapman, with his whole podcast recording, is what we've seen so far. And,
yep.
Yeah,
we are recording this on the evening of day 2 of the event, and we have one more left to go tomorrow. So let's pass it over to Nutter. What have you seen so far?
Yeah,
what's your favorite thing?
This is my first attendance at Deep Dish. I've been wanting to go for a very long time, and so I've been thoroughly enjoying the atmosphere, the camaraderie. The Swift developer community it's been stated multiple times, but just a bunch of all around awesome people who are willing to share and be supportive of one another. And I think that's is very apparent when meeting people face to face. Both just people who I'm meeting for the first time, as well as people who are famous in the community, who been given talks, and the content creators and whatnot. They're just also approachable and nice and willing to talk and spend time. So I think that was a very big plus for me. And then just secondly, the talks that we've been able to receive so far have just been phenomenal. Today especially was there were a lot of speakers that whose content resonated with me, in particular about indie app development and the things besides the coding that we need to make a part of our package deal, so to speak, when we're trying to create and share our own stuff.
Yeah, so one of the big things that they always do at Deep Dish Swift every year is they have a section that is dedicated specifically to speakers who are speaking to indie developers. And that was the second half of today's talk. We had 4 different talks who Adam named earlier that were from indie developers who had, were talking about their experiences and about things that specifically were important to indie developers. Jordan Morgan gave a talk on indie dev marketing. Vidit gave a talk on, keeping a maintainable experience as an indie developer, avoiding burnout, that kind of thing. Danielle Lewis talked about Danielle? Shit, did I screw up her name?
Danielle.
Yeah,
that's right. Danielle Lewis.
Yeah.
Yep.
Danielle Lewis gave a great talk on getting started as an indie developer and, just how you can really kind of build up an audience out of the gate. And then his talk was a little bit funny. He did a design roast of a couple of developer apps. And so kind of giving hints and tips on designs by taking apart some indie developers who had volunteered for sacrifice in the audience. And so that was a pretty fun and interesting way of teaching design to a bunch of indie devs who may not have designers on their team.
I really wanted to have one of my apps be roasted, and I'm also very glad that one of my apps was not roasted. Yeah, but it
sounds
was very
like
funny.
a good idea at the time. And then
Right. Yeah, it was certainly fun to watch, and it was probably fun to be on the receiving end too. He was a good sport.
Good sport, yeah, definitely. So yeah, like Nutter said, also one of the really great things here has been kind of the quote unquote hallway track where you're getting a chance to talk to other people. And there have been so many people like, maybe even a lot of people that I've never heard of in the community that have just come up and they've shown me like such cool stuff that they're working on. And, I've gotten to talk about some of the stuff that I'm working on. And, people just constantly bouncing ideas off of each other and really building each other up, really praising each other. I found that absolutely awesome. What about the two of you?
Yeah, I think what I really appreciated was that there was almost always at least 15 minutes between talks, which meant that there was actual meaningful time to have a real conversation with somebody. Some of the other conferences I've been to, it's been 5 or 7 minutes, or it's been just enough for a bathroom or a coffee refill. So you can't really get deep with somebody. But the people I've met have been wonderful, and the conversations we've been able to share are more than surface deep, because you can really start talking about what you work on and what some of the struggles have been, and how you both appreciated this talk and why, and what it meant to you, and how it applied to your specific situation. So that, I think, has been really a special part of this conference for me, is the balance of super cool talks, but then enough time between them to actually process them and chat with others about them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just the other attendees. I mean, one of the great things has been the amount of chance that, the speakers themselves have really given of themselves to be able to talk to people in the audience. I mean, Dave, I know you got a chance to speak with Stuart Lynch for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
How was that?
That was great. Yeah. Stuart is such a wonderful teacher. His videos, he's well crafted. You can tell that his teaching background is just, it's incredible. And he shares all these things, and he does it so well. And I'm sure a ton of people have come up to him these last couple of days, but he was walking my way, and I was like, hey, I'm just going to stick out my hand, shake his hand, and introduce myself. And he's very gracious, and spent, it must have been 5 to 10 minutes where we were just talking about YouTube and about editing and just the process, and commenters, the just everything that comes with that. And just it was a really special moment. And just in agreement with Adam, it's like that extra time where you that's spaced out, where you can mingle, interact with the other attendees. It's just so important, especially in this day where many of us work remotely, or are in satellite offices. There are not very many chances to interact with human beings face to face. As great as remote work is, and I love it, and it's absolutely amazing for my situation. Having the chance to meet new people and to be social, it's just it can't be beat, And when you're meeting with a group of people that all have similar interests and can share how they solved a problem, or can be empathetic to, like, oh yeah, this sucks, and it still sucks, and we got to figure out how to fix this. It's just an incredible experience, and I'm very, very glad that I came.
Hey folks, if you like what you're hearing in this podcast and you want to help this podcast to continue going forward and having great guests and great conversations, I invite you to become a Patreon supporter. You can go to patreon.com/CompileSwift, where you will get ad-free versions of the podcast along with other content.
Yeah, I know a large part of Vidit's talk was about like the benefits that you get from fostering a community, and how that helps you even as an indie developer, like how this helps, just motivate you, just having the people around to talk to, and, like I said earlier, build each other up and kind of hype each other and, get excited about things. It's tough to do even if you work for a company, if you work remote, like you're not seeing people in person as often and whatnot, that, getting out to something like this, getting out to a conference like this, or even just like local meetups and whatnot, it really helps kind of keep up your motivation to do these kinds of things and to build cool stuff and continue to ship when, it may seem like everything's hopeless. But yeah, no, definitely the community here has been great and loved getting to interact with everybody.
Yeah, it's really nice to just pull my head out of the sand, because I have to sit at home and I'm just in my own little world working, and it's so refreshing to meet so many different people that are in the same industry doing entirely different, very interesting things. And it just lets me open my eyes again to what's possible and what's available, and just, I don't know, give me interest back in everything that can be done. I mean, similar to between the talks, the other nice thing has been just down in the hotel lobby, since there's a block of rooms in the hotel, almost everyone at the conference is staying here. And so then in the evenings, there's a big group in the lobby that just kind of hangs out and chats and compares notes. And it's another great time to just meet people and expand, meet new friends. I think that's the best part, is
and getting a chance to connect with all new people. Like I said earlier, there have been people that I've met that have been, really interesting, great people to talk to that I myself have never heard of before. And it's just like, oh, wow, this person really has something exciting to tell me and or something exciting that I can talk about. And, it's like, had I not come to Deep Dish, I may never have known that this person existed. So yeah, just getting a chance to just meet a bunch of really interesting people has been a great part of this.
Yeah, I want to echo the earlier comment about, being able to resonate with one another on why we're in this industry, why are we doing the things that we do, like what are we building and why is it important to us. Hearing these stories from other developers on how they made something that at first they thought it was just for them, but then also seeing how it has helped somebody else, it's a big boost to recommitting to quality software, but also looking at ways to make people's lives better. That's one of the reasons why I am doing software development, is because I want to make something that is good for me, but also I want to make a difference, however small that may be. If it helps one person, if it helps 10 people, then that'll be, time well spent.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And unlike a conference like WWDC, we're not all just focused on pleasing Apple. There's a lot more of a focus on, hey, what are looking at ways to, just really focus on the craft of building an app, and not just on, well, what does Apple want us to do this year? And what are the new APIs? What are the new things? Getting a lot more of this cross-pollination and this understanding of, what does it mean to just build an app? And yeah, I find that kind of energy very prominent here.
Can we talk about specifics from talks that we have?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the biggest influences on from today's talks, especially, came from Danielle Lewis, and I think we all spoke about this later, and just.
Danielle, also somebody that we got a chance to speak to for a couple minutes after her talk. And just really go off on, man, that talk was very meaningful.
She started off
such a wonderful talk.
She knew she wanted to build something. She didn't know how to make apps, and she ended up making and publishing 10 apps within a year. Yep. And
which is wild to me.
It's Vision OS
to think about. Yeah.
All across. It's just incredible to hear. And it wasn't focused on, I got to make everything perfect until I release. She made something, she released it, and then she's like, okay, on to my next one. And that kind of mindset of build and ship, which has always been something very difficult for me because I tend to look at something and want it to be perfect before I release it to the world. And spoiler alert, I haven't shipped anything in a very long time. I tend to make my development career has been mostly working for companies, shipping apps under the company, which so yeah. I have shipped, but it's the company app, not my app. And as a result, my personal portfolio is quite minuscule just because I haven't given the time or the effort making something and sharing it with the world. And listening to her talk and it's just kind of motivated me to be like, hey, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be something that that works, and we after shipping you can post updates. There's nothing that says this must be. We're no longer in the age where you gotta ship a boxed product and that's it. Like you can push updates, and so that's something that I took to heart, and hopefully will help me in releasing something this year that I'm proud of.
Who was it that said everything I'm doing is making me uncomfortable? If the thing that I need to do is uncomfortable for me, then that means I have to do it.
I think that was Danielle.
Was that Danielle?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was, and I couldn't quite remember, but I loved that quote because that's what holds me back so often is, well, I could either fix this thing that's comfortable to me or I could fix this thing that's uncomfortable to me. I know which one I'm going to pick. I'm going to stay in my rut and keep doing my thing.
That's definitely been a common theme across a number of talks too. I mean,
yeah, it really has.
I know Jordan hit on that in his talk. He's saying something along the lines of, as developers, when we feel like we need to do something to make something better, like we go to what we know, we go to coding rather than going to marketing. And Michael Flareup in his talk, he was the opening keynote speaker. Like one of the things that he said is just like, really like you just got to focus on like velocity and volume and really just getting your name out there and getting constant feedback and constant improvement. And so, Danielle definitely had the like most crystallized version of this talk and like really focused on that on that idea in specific. But yeah, it's been something that
it's been
a lot
quite
of
a
talks
few
have
people
really hit us over the head with like, hey, just ship, just get it out there.
Yeah, just do the thing.
Right.
Yeah, which is is the easiest thing to hear and to say yep, I'm going to do that, but then so hard to actually just do. But it's been so inspiring to hear from people who actually did this and have paved that way and can say, yeah, you can do it too. There was one of the other talks. My memory is obviously not terribly great, so you're gonna have to remind me of this one too. Someone said that indie dev is, I don't know, I don't think they said lonely, but it's isolating.
Yeah. That was Vidit's talk. And
and man, I related to that a lot because so many times it just feels like I'm wandering alone in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
And the nice thing both about the talks and about chatting with people between talks and this whole experience is knowing, other people are wandering in the desert too.
You're not alone. Yeah.
You're not alone. You don't always see them, but you can encourage each other and keep walking. You're doing right. It's tough. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't always feel right, but we're here with you and we're doing it too. And here's how I've seen success. Here's what keeps me going forward. And sharing that inspiration and hearing that inspiration have been really wonderful.
Time for a break.
Hey everybody, it's Peter Whittam here from the Compulsory Podcast. I'm going to tell you about SetApp. SetApp is a service that provides a subscription fee of just $10 a month, and you get access to over 200 Mac applications, and it's also available now on iOS as part of that deal. I use the service because it just has a ton of really good first-rate apps that I use all the time. And for me, it's invaluable as a developer to have access to tools for things like APIs, for planning projects, writing emails, writing documentation. And you can get all of these things, including database apps, all of that kind of stuff, right there on the Set App service for just $10 a month. You can use as many or as few applications as you need. If you're interested in checking this out, go to peterwitham.com, peterwitham.com/setapp, SETAPP, and you can see the details there. And it's got a link that you can go over and start using the service and see how it works out for you. I strongly recommend this to every Mac user.
Break time over.
Yeah, I believe the name of his talk was pizza can help your startup or something.
Pizza will save your startup.
Pizza will save your startup, and the punchline was he learned how to make pizzas. He was in the physical world. He was building something. He was creating something that had nothing to do with development, and that helped him recover from burnout because he experienced burnout. And one of the things that he had to do was find something that he could find passion about, unrelated, that also could help. He could share it with the world, and he ended up having these. Was it like monthly gatherings where he would just have pizza parties where he would make the pizza and his friends would come, and he showed his progress on how his first pizzas weren't so great. I think his parents said, "Oh yeah, they're great," and he knew better. But he showed the progress pics of his skill, and he eventually passed some sort of exam for like being like an official pizzeria Pizziolo, yes. So that was a delightful talk, and I thoroughly enjoyed that.
So in addition to the talks themselves, we've also got there's an area right outside the main conference area with a bunch of the sponsors around, and they have booths and various things that you can go and learn about their products and a bunch of cool swag as well as you get at conferences like that. So have either of you had any fun experiences at the sponsor booths?
I think I am going home with more than double the t-shirts than I came with. So that's a win.
I've been steadfastly refusing t-shirts, but I'm a total sucker for pins and stickers. So I'll take any of those. And so I've got a bunch of pins. Also a thing that plenty of other attendees have brought as well is pins and stickers. So those are quite fun as well.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for swag for sure.
I know additionally, a bunch of the sponsors have been, just similarly, as the attendees, very open to talking about things that aren't necessarily even their product. I know Nutter and I had a long conversation with one of the founders, I guess, of Swiftly Workspace. Mm-hmm. And, he mostly just talked about, the VC-backed indie experience, not really indie, but... kind of going from a small startup to really trying to find venture funding and trying to build up this large thing and then becoming a sponsor of Deep Dish because he'd attended the conference in the past and, what the conference had meant to him as he got his company started and really the importance that this conference was to his backstory. And so, a fun experience that really had nothing to do with the product itself, but still quite an interesting experience.
Yeah, it was cool. It was very sincere, and you could tell, it wasn't just a soulless company shoveling their wares. He had a story behind what he was doing and what it was meaningful to him, and that was really cool to have that interaction.
I would not be surprised. I don't know what the count is, but I know a lot of the sponsors are previous attendees. Mm-hmm. Or have been sponsoring since the first year, or here because they love it. So it's a lot more than just the hard sell for the people walking up. Yeah, but they're really parts of the community.
They're meaningful parts of the community as well. I know Josh put up a slide at the very beginning that more than half of the sponsors have been sponsoring from the very first year. They've been around this whole time. Revenue Cat is the primary sponsor, and I think that's a little unfair because Josh works there. But, there are several other sponsors there that have been here every single year and have been a major part of the community just as much as all of the attendees and all of the speakers. And so one final thing to hit on before we leave. This place is called Deep Dish Swift. So I want to get your experiences on the deep dish that you've had so far this week.
Oh man,
Nutter, I think you.
Yeah,
we all had some last night.
It was delicious. So I went to Pequod's with a group. It was great. There's the Discord channel. People were basically setting up groups to go head out for dinner, and I just joined a group, and it was delightful. The company was great, and the pizza was fantastic. I haven't had deep dish before in Chicago, so this was a first for me. It was quite good. We wondered, like, how much should we order, because there were 4 of us, and we're like, should we get 2 larges? And we're like, wait a second, no, it's not just diameter, it's also like depth, right?
Yeah,
so like, you don't want to.
Pizza do you want?
It's literally called a deep dish.
Yes, yeah. So we're like, oh yeah, okay, maybe we'll go 2 medium. So we did 2 medium, and we still had plenty left over for someone to take home. I was stuffed. I was like, I can't eat anymore, because I knew that like there was gonna be pizza just around the corner, and sure enough, there was for lunch today.
For lunch.
Yeah.
But it was quite delicious.
We my group also ended up at Pequod's. We had a group of 9, and we ordered 4 pizzas, and we pretty much polished them. 4 large pizzas. Sorry, we ordered 4 large pizzas, and we pretty much polished them off. And oh my god, I was regretting that night.
That's impressive work.
It was tough. I had 3 slices myself, and oh good god, that 3rd slice was a mistake. But yeah, no, definitely delicious. But like, that's not to say that the pizza was disgusting. The pizza was amazing. It was great. But that volume of pizza, like after a day of wandering around and talking to a bunch of people, and then you got to head home, and oh man, it was still with me the next day. I did not have pizza for lunch today because I was like, I can't deal with this. Adam, where did you end up?
Yeah, so I forget the name of the place. Crusts Pizza, maybe something like that. It was tavern style pizza.
Oh,
so it was not deep dish, but it was the other pizza. There's a guy from Chicago here that told me, like, yeah, Chicago's famous for deep dish, but really
you want the tavern style.
Everyone eats tavern style when you go out for pizza. So I had pepperoni and hot honey pizza, which I had only ever heard about once joining the deep dish Discord and kind of getting involved in the pizza culture here. Yeah. I'd never heard of hot honey before, but it was really good.
I did put hot honey on my April Fool's Day pizza, but that was I couldn't really tell what was going on there. There was a lot of things going on.
It had everything on it.
It was one of many mistakes.
It was one of many mistakes, yeah. So I have not had a proper hot honey pizza. So.
Yeah, it was good. It was delicious, and so that was fun. I wanted that. I definitely wanted the pepperoni hot honey experience here, and I got that. And then had my first deep dish slice for lunch, which was good. And so the next thing I need to do before I go home is that Pequod's trip.
There you go.
And they can roll me back home after I finish there too.
All right. So I think that about wraps it up with our deep dish experience. I'm going to give everybody a chance to tell people where they can find you. So let's start with Adam.
Yeah, you can find me. I'm going to pitch my product, and you can find me from there. museapp.com, M-U-S-E app.com. Then you hit the About section, and you'll see all the Twitter and Blue Sky and websites and things like that. Or my website, adamwolf.me.
Nutter?
Yeah, so I'm not much of a social media guy, but you can find me streaming on Twitch. Nutterfy is my handle, and I stream software development. I'm working on an app right now. It's like a vector drawing app that I'm hoping to publish soon. And if you go check out the page there, there's a beta link if you'd like to run the test flight version.
And of course, you can always find me and everything that I do at cocotype.com, and you can find out all of the information that you need to know about the podcast, the very podcast that you're listening to right now, at compileswift.com. So thanks for hanging out with us tonight, and we will see you all next time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.